Alright, hey guys, it's Dee.
And Tim.
And we are back with another video.
And we have a guest with us today.
Jessica Bellamy.
We're very excited to talk to Jessica Bellamy. So we're going to roll this beautiful film footage and then we'll get directly into our conversation with Jessica.
Niggas can say I changed on them because
Alright, so Jessica, we are down in your hometown, Louisville, Kentucky, in your space, which is super, super awesome. But if you could, tell the people a little bit more about yourself and what you do. I am a graphic designer that specializes in infographics. I make infographics for nonprofits, community groups. I always using it to fuel and support different social change initiatives. And I also do a lot of workshops around the country. And Jessica, for you grew up in Louisville. Mm-hmm. Were you born here?
Born here.
Born and raised in Louisville. What is it that got you into the creative field, in particular into infographic design or information design?
Oh, that's kind of a hard one. I mean, arts in general, I was definitely inspired by my mother. She made us draw and paint. She's an artist herself, both a draftsman like me, but also she's really big into culinary arts. Like that's really big in my family. But so, I mean, I guess, yeah. So definitely I knew coming out of high school that I wanted to start doing work that affected like how Black people were represented in media. And by the time I got towards the end of my college career and I took way too many majors, I ended up realizing that it wasn't necessarily going to be the fine arts world that was going to create the culture of competence that I really wanted to generate. So I ended up using my graphic talents to start mobilizing data and personal narratives in my city. And that's why I started Grids, the Grassroots Information Design Studio. It's a really great intersection of all those things.
That's awesome. Like, I'm very interested to hear about you were, because it's over now, an Adobe Creative Resident. And I know as they started to promote that more and more and it starts to happen year after year, it's starting to become like a hot topic, especially around those new designers entering into the design field. So could you talk to us about that journey and doing that for an entire year and the things that you've learned and the things that you like and some things that you wish you might have done differently?
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who may not know, the Adobe Creative Residency is an opportunity where Adobe funds 6 creatives for on their passion project for a year. And I was one of 6, an international group, and we all had very different specialties of how we utilize design in the arts. But for me, it was incredible, mainly because as a person who does information graphics, especially in the way that I do it and for the groups and organizations that I do it for, I rarely have the opportunity to be the leader of my own creative process, because like I always start, within community. And so to be given a opportunity to kind of grow as many projects as I want within this sphere of the proposal that I created, I kind of like, I didn't want to come back for a second. I was like, I've never been so self-driven in my life. And the opportunity to really pivot and change my style. Like I started adding motion into my infographics. And I was also given the opportunity to start traveling the country to teach other people how to make infographics while partnering with nonprofits. And that entire journey was wonderful. Only thing that I would probably change would be to have more confidence in releasing my process on social media, because there's definitely a lot of back-end things that I do that I share more now when I do workshops to help people learn about infographic design, but I wish I shared more. Yeah.
Awesome. I know as we experienced this weekend down here with you, we've heard you talk about stories about some of the backlash from people here in the community who didn't believe that you are per se like as good as you are or that you deserve the residency. And I'm also one who's like to put out these stories of Black creatives in the design field and some of the things that we have like to struggle with as we, fight to make a living. Could you talk more about these things that we've discussed this weekend, and some of the challenges that you face from individuals who didn't think that
all the tea.
All right. So definitely, Louisville's creative community is very activated. It's very large, but it's driven by predominantly white males, and a lot of them are part of the same cultural group of specifically. I'm gonna do all the church. So they're part of a church system that I know there's more than one. It's not just existing here in Louisville, where it's a very conservative system that does not believe in the leadership of women. They believe in conversion therapy, all these things. So they're part of the leaders of our creative group here in this city. So it has absolutely been something that I know, as you met other Black designers, I'm not the only person that has felt like we don't get enough representation, and that we're not always included necessarily in some of the conversations that happen in this city. I'm not saying every white male that's a creative here is like that. I'm just saying there's definitely a core group that has no problem with just, continuing things exactly how they are. And that moment where someone said to me that they were so surprised that I got this residency, because when Adobe donated money to our local chapter of Creative Mornings, everyone assumed that, okay, there's a creative resident in this city. Who is it? And so everybody was looking at each other. White male, was it you? White male, was it you? What about you, white male? Was it you? Oh no, it's none of y'all white males? Damn. And I ended up in a conversation where someone said how surprised they were that I got it, and they felt like I don't know, maybe that I didn't deserve it or something. I've been working in the city of Louisville, doing my arts and doing my organizing, and found a perfect marriage between the two, and I feel very respected. I got my accolades here, So it's very surprising to me that another person would say that to me, especially not knowing me and the body of work that I produce and the quality of what I put out there.
So in those types of moments, how do you respond?
I was just okay. And then I just I found a way to excuse myself, because when I first started the residency, I wasn't sure how much Jessica I could be under the banner of Adobe. I realized there's a lot of wiggle room with that. But initially, I was okay, don't go off. Excuse yourself from the situation. Because definitely, if in a normal situation where something like that happens, then I'm used to just being I'm going to address this exactly right now. So you know exactly how I feel, and I'm going to smile in your face when you walk away. So it is usually how I deal with things. But in that moment, I just excuse myself from the conversation, mainly because, I wasn't sure exactly how I could negotiate that without getting upset.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, so, yeah.
In your process as an information designer, what are the parts of it that excites you the most? And then on the flip side of that, what's the stuff that you're I could take it or leave it with this element of it?
Yeah, I would say, oddly enough, it's when clients give me a mess of content. It happens all the time. And the first client I took on right after the residency, it was that same situation, and I was okay, let's get to work. And as I was diving into it and trying to find new ways to organize it, and to think about how this huge chunk of text can literally become something that speaks more to the content, while also making it simple and easy to digest very quickly. Negotiating that whole space of how to re-envision just a complex system of ness. And I'd say the thing that I could definitely do without, when it comes to really, I don't know, actually, I really like all of it.
Boom.
Oh yeah,
that is
it's
okay.
Actually
right.
Yeah. Okay.
That's that passion. That's that passion.
Do you find it challenging running your own agency?
Oh, of course, because you have to really try to balance between not just being a worker, because I've definitely had different designers that I've worked with within grids, but it's me, predominantly, doing, busting out these graphics, and but trying to balance that with also pushing the business forward. And it's so easy to just fall into the worker bee zone for me, you know, just to stay behind the computer and continue to create, just go into meetings, new project, hey, go, go, go. But that doesn't inspire growth, especially when I have a lot of visions for Grids as a social enterprise. Like last night, you all were here in the studio speaking to some lovely creatives in town, talking about, social innovation and how you can apply it in the community, how you can really elevate so many different projects and issues in really like constructive ways. Yeah. And I want this to continue to be a hub for things like that. And it's valuable to so many of us.
Sweet deal. Mm-hmm. And for those other aspiring designers, current designers who also identify as Black, what would you say to them about getting into the field, about doing the work, about facing these types of challenges that so often come up in the interpersonal ways of us navigating the field?
Oh yeah, I would say your resiliency is really key, because let's be real, we don't see other Black designers that often to really have that support system, because when it comes to trying to break into this industry, it's very exclusive, it's very expensive, and you have to keep pushing to try to even get clients and work in this industry, and it can be very defeating. But you have to realize, like, the talents and skills that you have, which are growing. This is not a race, this is a marathon. So like get your water bottle, stretch every now and then like you need to. Yes. But push yourself and don't be defeated and try to count how many laps you've done around don't worry about that. This is a marathon, this is not a race. And know that there are people out there just like you, feeling exactly the same, that can help you leverage your strength and power, recollect, and keep pushing. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Hey, no, that is a lot to say. Anything else that we missed that you want to get out?
I don't know. I mean, for anyone who sees this, like, come to Louisville. Like, I think this is an amazing city, and I would love to host you. If you would like to come visit the studio, you can even just come here and work, and that'd be fun. I don't know. Like, I just love connecting with folks, talking with folks, and I think people don't think about Kentucky when they think about design at all. Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Right there you have it. Once again, thank you, Jessica, for allowing us to just be with you this weekend and have so much fun and share our work. And thank you for sharing yourself and your wisdom, your insight with us and all of our audience as well.
Thank you guys once again for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more videos. You never know where we're going to be. We're going to put a couple of links up here on the screen and where you can find Jessica, but make sure that we put up all the proper links where you can find her. Jessica, tell the audience where they can find you.
You can find my work with Grids at www.gridsconnect.me, and you can find my personal artist website at www.jessicabellamy.design.
And social media?
Social media, if you want to find me on Instagram, it's jessicabellamy.design. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's jbellagrid. Jbella Graphics. Yeah, that's my Twitter name.